And we're live. This is your host, Paul Gaither. This is Madden NFL 25 / Madden 14. And I deleted my video from earlier today. Just didn't have the energy, didn't have the passion that I expect, the quality that I want on my channel. And I'm back. My headache's gone. New energy, new me, nap, and everything else that goes with it. Really glad to have you here. And I hope in a lot of ways we can finish this long project that we've been undergoing together. And that is to say the playbooks. Now, in some way, playbooks are never done. Right? I mean, I'm playing this video game and it's how old, and I'm still doing playbooks. But if you follow along, maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I like to bring positivity to my channel, and there's certain times where the game frustrates me and I curse at it or whatever. At least to some degree for entertainment. But also part of it is there's certain things I'm looking for out of a playbook. And I've said that before, out of formations, out of plays and all that. And I think I got lost in the weeds a little bit of like finding what plays work versus also forgetting what my original goal was in terms of the objectives of the playbook. I don't want just the same plays all the time, but there are core concepts that I want to be able to call, core things that I want to be able to achieve. And in doing so, I'm constantly asking myself the question, why are we using this formation? Why are we using these plays? And we've gone through ace pair a previous time, and I find myself reflecting with these 394 plays that we have, asking myself, why are we even using ace pair? I mean, really, why are we using ace pair? Just let's look at the X receiver. Forget everyone else. The X button, X receiver. Okay, inside break like a circus route. Okay, slant. Okay, nothing that bases off the circus route. That's an outside release. Nothing. Slant. Nothing. Like an out route. We're not doing anything. We're not selling. We're not doing anything related to the X receiver to keep the defense honest. I don't like it. We're like, oh, generic stick and tight end attack and a boot and a zone play and a drive and a slant and a whatever and a screen, and kind of like it feels like we're checklisting things, but we're not actually building an offense. Does that make sense? I don't feel it. And not that I want to go over ace pair in greater detail, but can we let's just like briefly look at it, because there were 50 plays there, and I find myself going like, did I lose the sight of the forest for the trees? I'm like, I don't want the auto motion plays, and I'm like, okay, there's like all these auto motions, and whatever the play action with these auto motions, and not that I'm banning auto motions, but I'm just like, what are we actually doing? Then there's like the close variations, those occupy space in the playbook, and the end arounds don't work because the actual end around doesn't work, which means those plays are dead. And then I saw a zona misdirection. But in order for this to work or make sense, one, we need a weak side run that this is faking. And two, I remember watching it and it was just all kinds of and we weren't really tricking them or doing anything. And then we've got the more auto motion plays, which again, in theory, there's nothing necessarily wrong with them. I like H zone strong, and then the misdirection based off of it, and the play action misdirection that's based off of it. Wherever that is, H misdirection here, and H counter strong here, or whatever, like the different things that we can do. But then some of them don't say that they line up close, though some of these might line up close, like play action misdirection might line up close. I don't remember right now, but that's just like a little sub package. Right? Here's the toss cracks, and I'm still asking the question, what are we doing with the X receiver? And this is the first play, zone of curls, that's actually doing something with it, and it's just a boring curl flat with like a release to the post, I guess, to try to keep something honest, but then you're not actually attacking underneath that post. You're not doing anything to put a safety in conflict and having a receiver going across the middle on a dig or anything like that. You're not doing anything to drop the safety or either throw to a guy underneath because he's drawn off, or to draw the safety up and then throw over the top of his head like a blown coverage. You're not doing anything, right? Like, oh, a screen, oh, whatever. Like, what are we doing? Okay, dagger. It's the same circus route, yo. It's the same circus route, right? And then the auto motion spot and spacing and so forth. And I'm just like, oh, wow, this is it, isn't it? These are all the plays. That's ace pair. Regardless of the fact that the individual's plays work, it feels like an... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm looking for the word cohesive, but like the negative form of cohesive. Like incohesive. It's not incoherent, but incohesive, I guess. It's like, okay, I did all that work and I had all those plays and I took all that time and I'm just like, why? Who cares? For who? For what? To quote Ricky Waters, right? We're in big. 21 plays. And again, I'm asking myself, why? Okay, the 0-1 trap and this works, and we've got levels divide. That's a classic football play. And this is the one that actually has the option to break over the middle of the post with a tight end. And this is the one that has the option to break as to break back as a comeback route. And this is a classic Peyton Manning play. And that's a reason to have it. And there's the pump draw, and I really like the pump draw. It's a cool little animation, and it's a nice little play. And then it's like, okay, well, here's the FL cross. Here's the flanker cross. What else are we doing with the flanker? Okay, there's like an in route and a drag route, which is pretty much in the same direction, and a post and a comeback. And this, okay, he kind of fakes the in route, and then he goes up, and then he curls under or something. And okay, we've got, hey, remember earlier where we talked about flanker cross, and he's going across the middle? Well, here in, not X option, where was it? Is it X option? Yeah, the X option. It's like, oh, he's going to take off, he's going to do it, but then he's going to whip out. Right, little whippy out. Okay, that's nice. X option and flanker cross, like those can be like little buddy plays, at least in terms of what's going on with the X button and the Y button, right? With the T, because the T receiver is usually the Thunder or whatever tight end. That's there, the second tight end, because you have the regular Y, which is the A button here. So that gets confusing, the button versus the label. But it's like, okay, here we are, right? Okay, we got an out, there's a counter trap, a stretch. The play action's based off of a deep play, so we've got the comebacks. Like, what are we doing? Where are the scissors? Where are the spots? Where are some of the other core plays? And some of the answers there in the auto motions or whatever. And I'm just looking at this just going, why? Why are we here? What are we doing here? Like, am I going to miss any of this? That's what I was asking myself, right? If these were gone, would I miss any of it? When I had my last video, which I deleted, one of the main features that we discovered while doing that video that you can no longer find, no longer view, was we were talking about like the quote-unquote normal, like two receivers to the left, a tight end split to the right, and then, you know, you've got your flanker out to the right, right? You got your split in, your slot, your Y, and your flanker. Great. Except in this Madden game, we can't have tight splits in 2x2s because they'll go across the formation. So I'm thinking to myself, and I said out loud, I'm like, you know what? I'd actually like a tights play. And they have tights doubles, and they have tights doubles on or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? There we go. And we started looking at these plays, and again, I find myself going, why are we running any of these? Like, the purpose of this formation, I understand. It's for the alignment and the hash marks and all the things that I've discussed in the past. I'm still asking myself, why are we actually using this formation? To just have a screen play? To have this like little bendy back route from X? The little bendy route from A, and then the drags underneath, like the crossers? Okay, I mean, that's fine. Am I going to call this on the goal line? This is my goal line, go for two, score play? Is it really? Right, what are we actually doing here? When I start looking at the plays, I'm like, what are we doing? What's the conflict? What's the philosophy? What's the achievement here? And I'm just like, no. Don't get out of here too. Right? That's what I was thinking to myself. So then off camera I said, you know what? Let's actually find something that's a little interesting. And I came here and I haven't even practiced these plays, but here we are in Eagles trips. So, you know what, we have 60 slide, where you've got three receivers running option routes, which seems kind of cool and fun. They got the curls underneath, right? I normally don't like the curls, but when you've got options to go in other directions, it seems at least a little interesting on the side note. Here, I like the quick out. I like the fact that because it's trips, that means we've got an isolated receiver as a split end that we can bring in when we're on the left hash mark. We can flip it when we're on the right hash mark. We have 3 receivers out to the field. I like that kind of stuff. To me, that's interesting. We can bring it in. We can have him break out as the default play, like we say with Bill Walsh, like the quick out away from the quarterback's like throwing angle, whatever, like it's to his back, so he opens up and throws it out. But he can also kind of turn it into a bit of a slant. He can also turn it into a go. We've got like this kind of inverted drive action, which can also turn into like the RB and B, have this like post and go, which is also a classic play that we've even seen in All Pro Football 2K. Like there's some interesting stuff going on here, and I'm like, okay, I got this. This one I think I could kind of live without. Right, 60 go. It's just a curl that doesn't challenge anything. No curl flat combination. Again, not really loving this one. Nothing to love here. Bubble screen. You know what? You got the bubble on one side. You got the curl, you've got the hitch. You've got the slant. You've got the go, like the choice. You got a choice route. You got a bubble route. That could be a default kind of screen. It could be interesting. The run play. We got this little circus route with X. We got some interesting route combinations, which include a curl flat with B to Y button receivers. Like, there's some interesting stuff. And then I say in my back pocket, there's the circus route we've mentioned before. Is there anything connected with that? Play action, while it's not directly connected because it is play action, hey, at least instead of a circus, he's doing a dig off of the same inside release. And we've got our classic post wheel combo. And we've got like the, it's not a dagger, but this is like the dig drag combo. So there's some interesting things going on here. We've got the classic flood across the formation, the screen, which we normally run, and then the screen also has reads. So you don't just have to throw the screen, you can actually read this levels formation between, not formation, but combination. A and RB has like a levels combination. You also have a bit of a mills combination between A and B. So you've got like double combinations here along with the screen that you can check to. And then I see a wonderful comment has popped up here. Denny says, I love all these run and shoot options in Eagle Strip. Yeah, exactly, Denny. And I don't know if you caught it from the beginning of the video, but I'm like sitting here going like, what are we really doing here? And I'm like, I like this stuff. We got stick. We got some smash action. Right? And then this is another situation where the circus route, X has the dig. So not just in play action, but just straight up smash. So we've got a circus route combination, and we've got smash. So where was the circus combination? Was it middle slant? Yeah. So you've got a little action here, a little action there. You've got something interesting that we can work with. We can go, we can come back. We've got the classic drive, we've got the levels. Right? If you remember here, levels, and then we also had the other option. 60 choice. Well, one is like a gimme, and the other can be the choice route. Like, and I'm thinking, you know, we might actually have something here. Another play action, a draw, an inside zone. Like, hey, a draw play when we're all spread out. Draw's pretty nice. So then I'm start thinking, okay, there's inside zone. Here's a little handoff kind of based off that inside zone. The play action stretch here, whatever. What are the other play actions based off of? That little inside play right there. So we got a couple play actions based on that. Okay. And then the trap is basically going the other direction, so it's not like a counter, but hey, it's a weak side run, and we're pulling someone. We're trying to get +1 in the box by just swapping where the guard is, by pulling a guard. Okay, I could see that. It's not the craziest thing in the world, and just a regular handoff inside. And then the trap, which we can obviously flip. We can go one direction or the other. Hey, I like it, you know? That's what I'm thinking to myself, hey, I like it. We'll figure out the 17 plays. Maybe there's some 1 or 2 plays we need to cut. I don't have a lot of confidence in this one. I think that this one can be cut or whatever. Might get us to 16. We might figure out the rest. But I got something. You know what? I think we got something. And then we got trips. Okay, now we're not going to worry about condensed sets or anything. We're just going to put the tight end always to the boundary and put the 3 wide receivers to the field. And again, that's a classic combination. It doesn't have to be bunch. And now we're down to 345 plays instead of like 394 plays. Right? So let's start looking at this. We got a bubble screen and a wide receiver screen. So either player can get the screen. Maybe I can have one of those players be Ace Sanders and the other receivers. I don't just have to have Denard Robinson. It can be other players as well. And in this case, like Ace Sanders is the rookie and he's a fast wide receiver. So maybe I can even swap him in place for place or whatever. But make sure that usually having the middle player be the best blocking player of the choices. Number 14. I always forget. I believe that one's Blackman. Okay, we've got a boot. Even though we're going to be rolling to the boundary, they still have a lot of field that they can cover to stretch things out. Now, I normally don't like Power O and the Power O boots, but here's the thing, especially one reason I don't like it, the label, is in Power O we're pulling the guard. Tom Brady in real life said he learned from Peyton Manning, and they showed it, that in some play actions you actually pull the guard. So you can really sell the play action because you're even pulling the guard as like a tell. They're not doing that here. But the reason why I'm okay with this one is, one, it's just like those other trap plays where it's like, okay, we're just going to like down block with the play side guys and we're going to pull a guy and we're going to be power trying to be +1 here in that blocking game. But also if you look at the combination they have here, because this could just be, it doesn't have to be powered by its name. This could just be considering itself, where is it? Do we even have like an actual, we don't have a strong run. It has to be power. Okay, that's interesting. I thought we were actually going to have a strong run. But the point is, look at the route combination. It's a dagger. With the B button and the X button, it's a dagger. And while we don't have a full crosser, we have a dagger with someone going over the middle of the field. So we've got some combinations, some plays that can really like work here. Yeah, and then Denny here says quality over quantity. Exactly. That's what I was getting caught in, Denny, if you missed it. It's like, I just said like, oh, okay, I got these plays to work. I got the computer quarterback to make these plays work. But what are we even doing? What is our concept? What is our philosophy as an offense? And I feel like we were losing that. Right? But here we're going back to dagger, which is one of our staple plays. And we're just doing it out of a different formation. And here, again, we've got that classic Mills combination that we like with the Y button and the X button. We also have the mesh combination that we like. We also have Y button and A button basically doing the dig, like, I forget the name of it, but that combination where the drag is coming across one way and the dig is coming across the other way. There's like multiple combinations built into this inside cross. It's really clever. It's multiple other known combinations built in. And just the classic screen. Again, like I said, we don't have to have Denard Robinson at wide receiver. We could have him at the back. Especially when empty trips, we can have Denard Robinson be the running back. He can take the ball. He can also catch it. He can be the screen guy in space, whatever. It doesn't have to be just Justin Forsett. We can just do halfback spell. We don't have to do a formation adjustment. And there's spot, and we love some good spot, especially if the computer can do it. We got some stick variation. We've got a formation of flood, which is nice. We got some smash. Right, like we've got some good looking plays here. We've got ourselves a lion with also a wheel route from Y. Like we got some good stuff going on here. This one's also a little bit of Millsy, like maybe a little bit of repetition here. Right, I think there was the play I was just talking about, inside cross. So it's like, but at least it's a play action version of kind of the same thing. There's the classic draw play and just the classic dive play. So you know, I like it. Right? And then we get back to these plays. And I'm like, yeah, I like this a lot more. We're cutting the trash and we're answering the question, what are we doing here, right? Now, I'll worry about the audibles and everything else. And then I said, you know what? I want to look at, can we finish off single back at least? Because, you know, while we're looking at it, and I deleted from some of the video, the last video we were looking at Wildcat and we were looking at the heavy formation and full house. We were looking at a little bit of pistol stuff. We were looking at some other things, and I'm like, you know what? We can finish off single back and we can start looking at shotgun. And I don't want to repeat too much. I think like after we finish off this, regardless of gun, I think we're just going to go in and start playing the games, because I think we're pretty happy with gun and we might make some cuts. And I'm like, okay, we've got ace pair in the big, and we've got the other big plays that we've looked at. We haven't really touched on bunch. I can touch on bunch in this video. Deuce wing, I don't care about. We spent the time in this dice slot, right? This formation, doubles X slot, double Z slot. They're all the same formation with just slight variables in them. The only thing that's even interesting in double slot to me is this first play, slot screen. Like, they have all these auto motions and just like the little whippy routes and all that. And it just gets like, ugh, I don't really like it. I got a third comment here by Denny. Before I read that, Eagle Spread has that same problem of I can't mess with the hash marks. They're just spread out wide, and I can't really do anything about it. It says, in the screen situations, you may be able to sub the tight end for one of your trips receivers, especially wide receiver screens. Yeah, exactly, we can. We absolutely can, and I'm sure we can. I can look at the package substitutions. So we've got 2 blockers and then like a fast guy like Ace Sanders or whatever to take off and go down the field. Yes, absolutely. Plus, we just want to draft quality wide receivers that can block. And I'm like, Eagles trips, and that's what we were using. And then I saw F pair twins, and I'm like, wow, this was actually supposed to be in that same family as the twin tight end chief flex slot. And I'm like, ooh, F pair twins. And I believe the F means he's the fullback as instead of twin tight ends. And I'm like, ooh, there's 18 plays here. And I'm just like, these are all, ugh. Like, trust me, when I go through them, they're just, ugh. I already have Jumbo. And I'm not so interested in Jumbo Pair or Jumbo Z. We skip through normal and normal tight end slot. And then we skip through slot Y flex, because I don't really like these 4 wide receivers that are not tight. And then we get to spread. And then we go back to where I already was with tight doubles on. All of that stuff, tight flex, all that. And then we're at trips, which we've already covered. And then we're twin tight end. And then we're finally at the last groups. Wing trio, wing trips, Y trips, tight end slot, Z trips. Let's go through these. We don't have to go in great detail. But I'm like, if I just can these auto motions, and I start asking myself, what are these combinations? Like, okay, there's just another screenplay and another verticals and another auto motion and just another, oh, there's another 4 verts, a dive and a draw and a sprint and a stretch and a auto motions that I'm going to kill and whatever, and then a boring levels. It's literally the same routes just across the board. That's no variety. Here's a Z spot, I guess. Whatever. Wing trips. Okay, this looks interesting. We've got the tight end off the ball. We're pulling both. Hey, that's kind of cool. Is there anything else? This weird close formation, auto motion, but no. Okay, the Bills zone weak again, auto motion. Kind of, what are the plays? Oh, all of a sudden we're running out of plays and there was just nothing. It was just like, hey, this looked kind of cool. That's it. Like, this looked kind of cool, I guess. Y trips, 3 to go. And I'm like, okay, here we can have X be close. Okay, there's like a little post, there's a little whatever. Hey, there's that inside breaking. It's not a circus route, but like the reverse of a dig. It's kind of like he's still breaking it out. And then, we kind of have like a little bit of a dagger action here with A and B. But then I don't like how RB kind of sits in that same space. He's basically occupying that pocket that you're trying to create between A and B. So, don't really like it. The trail, but you're not having him trail anyone. So it's a trail that's not really a trail. And it's like, what's the conflict defender? Okay, we got a bubble screen and whatever. And I'm like, okay, a stick and a knot and another 4 verts and more 4 verts. And here's a trail that's really a trail. This is also a goal line play because they're literally fades. They're designed to be fades. You don't run fades between the 20s. That's not a thing. So this is like, are you really calling this as your 2-point play formation? Maybe. But what are we doing here? More verts and screens and the trash levels. And here's the kind of interesting smash. So it's the dig from X instead of the outbreaking dig. So like 2 plays that look interesting out of the 50 so far. And just another drive. And another stick. Right? And I'm like, what is unique? I have enough sticks and drives and whatever. But is there something kind of cool in this formation that we haven't gotten from the others? Because I can say that about the other formations. There isn't. So skip. Y trips tight end slot. Wide receiver screen. Hey, again, there's that same route. It's not quite a circus route. Okay? Same play we just talked about. Another, and you're just like, oh, it's just the same stuff and the same drive and the same trail play. And it's just the same plays, but fewer of them. And then we get to Z trips. And we're like, okay, there's Circus. Got it. We can bring our wide receiver in. There's Circus. What are we going to have built around Circus? Empty. No, thank you. Okay, the stick and nod and stick and slide and the wide trail stuff all over again. It's the same stuff. Hey, this drags. They have bears, drags, lions, drags, whatever. Hey. We might have something interesting here. You know? Vix Vids is going, yeah. And Denny is here, says, White Trips is usually my choice out of that group. Lesser of all evils, I guess. I get that, Denny. I hope you're still here. I don't know if just Vic came in to say hi or Vic's still in here. Because it just says one right now. But the Bears drag's like, okay. Slam, weak dive, stretch. Yeah, it's just the boring levels and the drive and the verticals and the slants and the same plays. And literally the same play that's in the same book. Like, repetition. There's the smash. Like, we see at least the difference here with the X button receiver. That's kind of nice. Those two plays are why we're doing it. Oh, this is an interesting looking play. Right? We found an interesting looking play, folks. We found one interesting looking play. See, there's lions, drags, bears, drags. It's the same play. Bear Y stick. There's a stick and the screen and the none and none and nas. And the double China, whatever. China. It's China. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm telling you, if we go with China. And I'm like, okay, we've seen it all. The only thing we haven't talked about are bunch. We've intentionally delayed bunch because bunch takes time. Right? So, we're here. What's up with bunch? Tell me about bunch, Paul. Wow. While I try to fix my microphone, not that my microphone is broken, but something happened with the cables that hold it in place really well. So I'm just kind of clamping them in here. Yeah, one of the top ones just completely came undone. Yeah, okay, now it's more stable. Got it. So what's up with bunch? You want to bunch things up, and we want the bunch to be towards the field, just like we saw in the Cowboys-Steelers game at the end there, right? That's what we want. And we're basically going to ask our lone receiver X, who's, again, supposed to be that lone star receiver. That guy can just beat his man, right? And then we want the bunch to literally be bunched up and have different kinds of escape patterns and run these different routes. So it's nice to have ways to run the ball. I don't want to ignore that, but I want to look at good route combinations before I worry about runs. And then Denny says Seattle is why bunch. Yeah, exactly. Seattle is exactly why we use bunch. You're absolutely right, but there's a lot more to it than Seattle. That was a classic play, though, right? Some misdirection. Hey, that looks kind of cool. Let's put it in there. Steeler lead weak. Hey, that's kind of... It's not a misdirection, though. What I worry about is the fact that the people coming across the formation are going to be too late. Because with misdirection, you're at least faking one direction. So I think that's going to not be good, but we're going to put it in there anyway. And then we see, like, the way the bunch break is... It can go back to the corner. It can take off. Like, the Ramsey option is... I don't like them taking the wrong option. Now, you said Seattle. One of the things is Vert's wheel stop is also a child of Seattle. Because instead of going all the way up, we actually have, like, the little stop. So the Vert's wheel stop is fine. Here's, again, the Z option. But they're calling it Buck Z option. Or Bunch Z option versus Ram Z option. And then isn't the Rams one a go? No, it's a stop and go. Where here's just a comeback, like a stop. That's better. Why trail? Like, that's a good reason. That's a true trail, not the ones that we saw before. Okay? A drive play. The way that they split out and exchange. Like, that's a play. Phillies divide, like on paper, is a reason. The end around, well, we got to check these because I know some of them, the end around actually works. Right? Now here's close. This is what I wanted to do anyway. I want to align him close. But do I really want the the close play by default? I can. There's a little mesh action. I don't like the fact that we're not going to really have, what is it I'm looking for? A run play out of it. but the concepts, I like them, but we're just kind of giving away. Pre-lining up, we're just giving it away. So we can check to see if this end around works, because some of them and some of the bunches, it actually does work. They actually run up and block it well. So I'm willing to put these in here. And the play action end around. Because one of them does work. Maybe it's out of gun, but I think one of these actually does work. Halfback angle. Like, that's fun. Philly post, no. Boot slide. We've got to actually have the actual run play itself to have the boot slide work. But also, that's not the point. That's not the point of bunch, but okay. Off tackle. See, he starts off the edge. Here's another end around. Does one work and the other not work? Are they the exact same play, or is one bugged? I don't know. We'll find out. Right? We're going to have to find out. But let's just not include that one. And then if it doesn't work, we try the other one. If there's even a difference. But I think there is no difference. Flood. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's the Z choice. Okay, slash end around fake. Do we already have that one? We have end around, that. We have two end around fakes. Right? Play action end around. Another play action end around. The actual end around. The end around copied. Okay, the fake version, which is the one we really have to set up. The repeat of it. Okay, just straight up ace powering it, which again I'm worried that the puller is going to be able to do anything. We still haven't gotten to Seattle, Denny. You notice that? Play action, Steeler, seam. See, we're actually doing a play action where we're pulling someone. That's interesting. Toss, crack. I don't have faith in this. I think he's going to stop running. I think it's going to be the same problem that a lot of stops have. Spot dig is kind of weird because it's not really a drive, and the way they're breaking out I don't think is going to work. A spacing switch can kind of work maybe, and a corner strike and a Z spot works better here. There's your classic Seattle. There you go, Denny. The spacing, and there was spacing switch. So we can see the RB picks it up there. That's why it's spacing switch. So you got spacing and switch. We can see which ones work. Classic stick. I mean, hey, we follow along. There's X doing his little circus route. I don't know if the rest of the plays are going to work, but we can try that stuff. We've got a drive play. Some of these are not the reason why you use bunch, but okay. The regular slash. The end around again, but without the lead blocker. That's part of the problem. We need the lead blocker. The dive. The waggle. That means we need, like, it doesn't have to be counter waggle. It's not counter waggle, but it's a thing to think about. This is kind of bench, like with X and B breaking out, but then it also has the trail, so there's something interesting there. This boot I'm less interested in. The draw pass, you're faking it's a pass, then it's a draw, but then it is a pass. That would be kind of funny to see. Counter weak. Again, I'm worried about it working. No, I don't have a lot of confidence. There's the actual draw. If we're going to have the draw pass, we might as well have the actual draw. The draw's got to work. There's a slant dragon kind of concept here. Here's the clear out SE option. Another pitch, or is it the same pitch? We got to see which one works. I don't really like that curl flatness. And there's a lot going on here, and suddenly we're at 36 plays, right? There's no way all of these are going to work. Then we've got bunch ace and base and all of that, you know. And we start looking, and it's not that I want to repeat, but is there something new that we haven't seen? Is there something that we want to try? Maybe there's a better version. I want to try this and see if it's a better version. Right, the motions and all of that, so probably not, because even if it works, this play doesn't have enough to justify it. We're going to go back to bunch base, but let's do bunch swap. They have 8 plays, so this is easy to look at. It's a whole bunch of meh. That might be a better quick pitch, honestly. Let's go back to base bunch, and there are 32 plays here. So there's that Z option in the draw and the slip screen. Here's the auto motion stuff that we can ignore, and they're just getting out of bunch. Flanker drive is kind of interesting. There's Seattle again, zone of drive. Oak verticals instead of Seattle. There's the end around again. We're going to have to test the end around that we have. This one's worth at least checking to see if it works, just to check. Because I swear one of them actually does work. And we can see which one we like better. This H-Power toss, I'm afraid he's going to just, you know, slow down again like he's always done. But it's cute enough to at least check out with the auto motion stuff. And the fact that they have a bunch of other plays here. And the counter and all that stuff looks kind of cute and weird. Is it worth looking at? So those are like the little weird plays that look kind of cool enough to try out. And those are all the bunches. And that's all of single back. And that's everything but shotgun. Now, there's a few things that we can look at. If the plays work, then we can go back into base bunch more. If there are plays that we don't like, we can cut them out. And I go back here to the comments. Denny says bunch. I have the B for bunch. Denny says bunch ace is too tight in. Yeah, exactly. The formation, like, we can adjust the packages. Yeah, bunch ace is too tight in. Bunch of base is one tight end, one fullback, all that. Yeah, usually I pick one based on my personnel strength for run blocking. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Denny. And I think I kind of have that in my gun. I don't remember if I saved it in my gun. But one of the things that I also like is that you can come out in your base personnel. Like with my 49ers with Colin Kaepernick and having the fullback who ends up being like a piece of shit human being who like abused elderly people and then is no longer in the NFL. We don't talk about his name. But then later we had Kyle Juszczyk and all that. Vernon Davis, all them. And you can just come out in 21 personnel. You know, two backs or tight end, all that with all that, but then you're coming out in bunch. Absolutely love it. So we're going to go into practice mode. And we're just going to try stuff out. And here, we can just do regular 49ers because I don't care about the quality of the quarterback play like I do when we choose Peyton Manning and all that. But I also tried to title the video like Finalizing the Playbook question mark because that's my goal. I don't want to mess with shotgun anymore right now. We can. Like, we can do, like, gun playbook later another day, but I would like to get back to my Jaguars franchise. Or my connected career mode. And the best way to do that is to finalize these last little bits in my playbook. Make those final little changes so we feel like we have a true scheme that we're executing. And we're getting there, and we're having fun. So we're at jumbo, twins, eagle, trips, bunch, base, bunch. Well, just to make life a lot easier, does the end around work? So since we're in a kind of a bunch formation, let's just have them come out like in a 46, two-man under, right? Okay, that's not a formation we would actually call that play to. So let's pick a new play just because we don't want, if that defense is like that, we're just not going to run that, right? What's a look that we want? Base bunch, end around. I want to say random, but I don't want a bunch of like nickel plays. 4 to the left of center, 3 to the right of center. I don't want that. Are we going to have to flip it? I don't know. What if we do 43, there's under 2-man, like that. There we go. There's 3 to the left of center, 4 to the right of center. They're supposed to be manned up, but they're not manned up. And then we have the piece of shit lead blocking for us. I told you one of these worked, and there it is. I told you one of these worked. Te dije. Te is Spanish for you, and then dije, I told you. Yeah, it works, right? We get the blocks, and it's really that part of the bunch gets out in front. The corner is worried about the wide receiver. We get the block on the safety. and we get something going. Right? And you just get to the edge, and it depends on your speed and everything else. So you got it. Like, it does work. But what's equally important is that we go to the regular bunch, and we see if it's also true here with this end around. 3 to the left, Vernon Davis leading the way, and that's kind of the problem. Right, now we've got another look that we can check out here. But see, this is part of the problem. They're trying to like bully this off the ball, and then Davis doesn't pick up the guy directly in front of him, and everything gets messed up. But is that just for that defensive formation? And then we do this, and Davis pops that guy, and it just doesn't work. That's what I was worried about. Right, I mean, that's just not going to work just because of math, but 3 left of center, and we're double teaming here. Yeah, that's the problem. It just doesn't work. So now we know, knowing is half the battle. We go back to base bunch, end around, for whatever reason, how the blocking is set up, this should work better. Yep, and that's why. That's why. They don't try to double team the inside player. They try to kick out with Joe Staley. That's all the difference in the world. Previously, in the other version, they're trying to double here on 92, and here they're man-on-man blocking and leading the way, so at least we're man-on-man with everyone, and you can make a read. That's the difference. Since we're here, and we know that that works, let's just look at this. He goes in motion. So-so. I do like pulling Joe Staley. As a 49ers fan, I like the idea of pulling Joe Staley here. Getting him around the edge and just like busting someone. This is pulling Trent Williams, pulling Joe Staley. Right? The block. And then we're also apparently pulling our center, which is kind of cool. Right? Some guys get off their blocks. It's kind of cool. They're a bit outside for my tastes. But I like that. That is such a satisfying run. How is that not just hyper satisfying? Right? You go out there. See, we're not always pulling the center. But we're pulling Joe Staley. We're kicking out. And I've got 3 blockers in front of me. And it's a little wonky with Crabtree right there. But we're basically splitting those guys with a lead blocker in Joe Staley. How sexy is that? Oh, let's go. That's why we hunt Joe Staley. What? Hey, it's worked every time. Right? That's why we've got Joe Staley. We've got boom, 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 pick up, pulling the center, boom, 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 boom. Maybe they get the block, but then the way Joe Staley is like, takes things out, and he's just like, doosh, and we get tripped up, but I don't care. That was awesome. That was freaking awesome. So that tells me one of those 3 plays, 2 of the 3 plays. Now there's a base halfback counter that was kind of trippy looking. So he goes in motion. We go to the right. No, we pull through here. And let's go. We could have run that even better, but let's go. How do you like that, bro? Now we've got the down blocks. Boom. Like, if anything, I wanted Staley to climb up and hit a little bit better. But now that we're pulling Boone and we're pulling our tackle, we're pulling both the tackle and the guard. Come on, we'll be pulling Jokel, right? As leaders, lead blocking, just plowing secondary with big-ass linemen. Right? Come on, let's go. There's something satisfying about that. How are you not having fun? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? So base bunch tells me a lot. We might as well go back to regular bunch. We might as well check out some stuff. Might as well ask ourselves the questions of why we're doing stuff. Let's look at quick pitch. Do we get the slowdown? Yes, we do. I don't care that it worked to our advantage a little bit. I don't like that slowdown. It's got to go. Frozen right there. Just a little loop. Frozen right there. So we've seen it before. We don't need to go into great detail. We're not surprised. So that's a dead play. Let's go counter weak. Also, it's just so satisfying to have your guard and tackle pull across the formation. Have those down blocks, 74, 77, 59. Like, have those down blocks and then pulling with 75 and 76 on those kickouts as we're down blocking with Joe Staley and we're replacing those down blocks with some ear hole blocks. Like, that 5 yards feels so sexy. Like, it's such a fun way to pick up 5 yards, yo. And you said base halfback counter is one of my favorite plays. Yeah. It's just so much fun. It's so satisfying. Like, that's football porn. Maybe I shouldn't say that word. Maybe it's football corn. Right? That's the key word that the kids use these days to get around filters. The fact that he slows down is what kills this play dead. Kills it dead, right? You get that? The complete stop. Right there. Like, he has all this momentum, and they freeze it dead, frozen in place. Look at the way 76 and 75 are pulling. You're like, get some. Oh, wait, you went from moving full speed to a complete standstill frozen stop. And then you have to do your acceleration back from nothing, holding the right trigger. Bull crap. Kills a perfectly good football play. Make the blocks, lead the two outside, hit that, like, you're ready to score. It's like, it feels like EA was like, nope, we got to keep this from being like auto touchdowns. Right? The way 81 is picking up the guy out here and everything. It's like, no, if you could actually run full speed with that, you just Raheem Mostert that thing. Right? It's like EA is just too cowardly to make their game better. So they just, like, take it away from you. So trash. So trash. Okay. And then you've got the other plays. Halfback misdirection weak. And having Vernon Davis pull through the hole. I assume that we've got the regular, like, dive that this is based off of. And again, we're just pulling a player and we're pulling Vernon Davis instead of Anthony Davis, right? You have Vernon Davis and you have Anthony Davis, right? Boom, boom. And you're just picking up the fun, sexy 5 yards. So there's some value in that. Do we need 30-something plays? No, there's things that we can remove. There's things that I'm not a big fan of. Oh, his alignment. That's a reason to cut that. I don't want that weird alignment from the running back. We didn't know that. Oh, we did know that. It has it in the art. I just missed it. We just got to look to see what else we want to cut before we're just being too repetitive. It says Steelers lead week. So this isn't a counter or anything. This is just lead week. And wow, that one's also kind of cool. That one's kind of cool. They just drive them off the ball. 77 Upati. Right? And Joe Staley just drives him off the ball in the kick out. And we pull Vernon Davis and he cut blocks inside just to give us the look. It feels so satisfying. Just to pick up those 8+ yards feels so good. And having a variety of that. The pitches have got to go. The snitches and the pitches. We can check out some of the passes in a little bit. I can even do some of them off camera Ace power, is this worth playing with? Just kind of leading the way. A little less sexy. A little more basic. I mean, you're not going to run it against this front, but whatever. Yeah, that one's just, like, less fun across the board. That's okay. That's why we're trying them out. 36 plays. Yeah, we're not going to run all of those. There's several we're cutting here. Oh, let's see here. We all know Seattle and all that. We just got to... And they call it bunch verticals instead of Seattle in this version. Yeah, that is a good start. So let's bounce out of here. Let's mess with both bunches. And then it says, pitches cause stitches. That's right. Let's go, Denny. So let's go customize that playbook. Let's make some cuts here. Let's go with base bunch there. Let's narrow it down to get some bunch action. And then let's get a game in. I don't want to do the game in the same stream, but I kind of would like to get the game in, maybe like end this stream and start another stream, like back to back, just so that they're like two different files, if that makes any sense online. So let's go to my plays. I formation. I'm going through the other version. Single back. Bunch. So the misdirection works. The Steeler lead works. The wheel stop, I'm pretty sure, works well. That looks so wonky to me. Just get out of here. I don't even want to try that one, really. Wide trail seems fine. This one doesn't seem as cool. Sorry, just doesn't. Pretty sure the video game struggles to handle this play. The end arounds gotta go. Gotta go fast. The play action. The regular end around. It's because of how they block it. Halfback angle may or may not be cool. I mean, really, you're just kind of clearing out. I think they're just going to force the angle too. It's really not as cool. Philly divide. RB just goes up the seam. B goes out. It's fine. It's fine. Did they say this is flood? I also don't like the alignment of the Y button. Don't need the end around fake either. We've got this boot slide. Didn't we have another boot slide? I thought we had another one. Or I've just removed so many plays that we're back to there. This power, ace power, wasn't working for us. Didn't try this one. Still worth trying. Toss crack, smoke and crack. Spacing the spacing switch we were talking about. We were looking at corner strike. Here the Z spot also should have an inside break and can turn into a corner strike or a post with a multi-option, so that's interesting. Obviously the classic Seattle, there's spacing and spacing switch. We want to see if that's any good. The stick play. Do we really want stick from bunch? Is there any real special reason to have stick from bunch? It still works fine. It's still a classic play. It's just an alignment issue. The weak flood was supposed to go, yeah, here. You got the sit route. You've got the high-low with RB to B. There's something interesting there. This weak flood, though, the wheel route, the sit, I don't think it's as nice. Let me know if I'm wrong. The drive is just boring drive with a wheel. Like, my head is sideways, tilted. Like, is there any sexiness out of the bunch to run that play? I don't think so. The regular slash and the dive. Do we actually have a regular week run? I don't think we have an actual regular week run, nor do we have any reason to be rolling out with that bunch side. I don't think so. I think this is going to be better than regular bench out of I formation because the way that we're attacking the middle of the field. I want to see if this is any good. There's our weak run that the weak counter could be off of, but we don't have an actual weak counter or whatever, right? Yeah, no, we don't have a weak counter. We just have like this weak run. We have counter weak. But is there any reason to run slam? I don't think there is. Like just regular old slam. I think we can like attack the right side and then we can attack the left side with the counters in those other plays. There's the draw for the draw pass. We want to see if that's any good by the computer. The boring slants. The clear out. Again, we've got this circus route by X, and I don't want to just spam the circus route. Plus, there's no real conflict that the bunch is getting into, like rub routes or anything here. And we need to get rid of quick pitch. And now we're down to 20, and we could potentially cut 2 more plays, which could be the draw and the draw pass or whatever. But we're getting somewhere, right? We're narrowing it down. We're getting quality. I like what we see. Denny, how was work? Because you're here. Obviously, you had to go to work last time. I just deleted the video because it had a lot of negativity and feelings in it. I was getting bored. I was getting a headache. I was getting overwhelmed. I needed some rest. So now we're going to go to bunch base. And we have these plays. So if we're going to do this counter, let's look at these auto motions. We've got the play action counter. We've got the base power O. The whatever and the whatever. And nope, it's not going to work. Now see, there's the H version where they're close. So I don't really want to deal with H counter strong and H zone and all the H versions. But the play action zone weak could be. We don't really have zone though, do we? I don't think we've got a zone version of it. It says zone weak. Do we even have that? We're going to have to check. The verticals version. This is the H close weird version. This is the H zone weak, but he's close. Do we have a regular version? This one I don't think is going to work, but we're going to put it in and just to check. This is the play action based around the end around. This is the slash fake, which like works with everything. And we're like doing things that aren't necessarily actual bunch. They just become a tight formation, but they're still cool as shit. Oakland verticals, we want the more Seattle version if possible. This is a trail drive without a good route. There's the Seattle play. There's the regular slash. And it begins to question why we have the other base version, which I know you've already answered. It's the same play we already see. Here's the base Dallas dig. Base zone strong. Base play action sail. Slip screen is slip screen. Regular draw is draw. Z option no. So I don't see what the zone weak is supposed to be faking. And have we overlooked some other regular bunch plays? No. We already have it. I see we have another comment. I try to check them. It says, work was a full day too. Wore me out. Exactly. I'm still going to catch up with the others. Like I said, I deleted the one from earlier today. So there's nothing to catch up on. You're not missing. But the other ones, yeah, good times. Seattle and Oak, whatever. Raider dive, whatever. Whatever. Because it's close. That's the problem. It's like H close weak. Like maybe he aligns. Yeah, H counter strong, whatever. Yeah, this one he may align close, but whatever. I don't really want those H versions. They might be good. They could be good. Especially if we're in base. Where's that zone weak? Is that really what it is? He goes across the formation and he zone weaks. Like, do we just do all of them? And try them all out? And like we cut one play. And it's just the regular Z spot. So we got Z spot. Is there a circus route for X also? No. Nope. Zone of drive. Dope. We got all these like weird little motion-y stuff. So that's the thing about spot, is you're not really faking anything else. And we have plenty of spot plays. I don't think there's any reason to continue the other stuff. We already saw that we didn't want that. And we already saw that we didn't want that. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with this. Let's go to audibles. Then it says, but you need to go to bed. Okay, gotcha. See you rapidly. Keep up the great content. I'm gonna try my best, Denny. I'm gonna try my best, everyone. That's why I got rid of the last one. I think that wasn't great content. Super appreciate you. Get that rest. Let's go. Let's go. Audibles. That's what I need. I need to look at audibles. This is brought to you by Audible. If you don't have a play that you like, hear this audiobook with Audible. Bunch. So if we want counter weak, let's just say we want counter, then we need the play that we're countering with, right? And that's probably the regular old dive, not even the slash, but the dive. If we want another play that goes to the left, of the many runs that we liked that went to the left, we had misdirection, which can be based off of that dive. There's slash that we could call. And the Steelers lead weak. All interesting. Let's see if they'll let us do slash. If they let us do 4 runs, we'll find out. Base bunch. The counter goes one way. If he lines up like that, the power goes the other way. Right? Power toss is something that we could call. Counter strong is based off of the weak zone, right? We can find out for sure. But if we're going to audible, we can have that. And we can have the counter strong be the right. Right, we have these auto motion plays. Because we're all about that. And it's trying to tell me, no, you have to call a different play. And I'm telling you, no, I don't have to call a different play. Middle finger to you. There you go, there's your middle finger. Middle slant, run to the left. It could be the trap. Yeah, it could just be the regular trap. There is zone, which I think we're going to use. But there's also dive. I think we can set 0-1 trap. So there's dive, 0-1 trap, and then zone. So a variety of looks from the run game. Based on the front. Back to the front. Well, obviously this one is the right play. Where's the go to the left play? There's the go to the right play, but there isn't the go to the left play. There is no counter that I see. So we'll go dive. If we're calling a screen, we can kill from a screen to something like what? 'Cause that's a called play. Not the slants. We do not have a play for this play action boot. Is there not a play for that play action boot? Is there not? Because I don't think there is. Single back. I think there was either the Eagles or the Trips. I forget what it was. Nope. Yep. They do not have a play that other play action is based out of. They do not have something that boot is based out of, so that helps. That most certainly helps. Where is single back base bunch? That's fine. Eagle trips. That was fine. Single back trips. We got it. So we've got the power O. And what else? Smash could be. Flood could be. Inside cross, I think, should be. Instead of the play action, I think we could draw it up. Right? Or another different pass play. Because I think spot and stick and slants are going to be plays that we're going to just call by default. Maybe flood. You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. Let's have the L button be the routes that go to the left. Let's have the right button be the routes that go to the right. And let's do that. Let's save it up. Let's go. And that, folks, is how you finish the vast majority of the playbook. Obviously, we're not messing with gun right now. But I think we're going to be ready to play our Jags franchise some more. What do you say? It's great having you here. It's great having a shorter video. And I'm going to see you for the next one.